I know we've all been to the grocery store before, and there was that one kid that was acting out, and you just want to kind of walk up to him and just be like, shut up! Can we take this kid out back? Well, on my way home from the back of the grocery store, I stopped off at my local video store and I rented Problem Child. You know what they say, life's a bitch and then you have kids. Everyone has thought from time to time about what it would be like to be a mom or a dad. Having a child has to be one of the best miracles that we get to experience on this earth. Such a blessing in anyone's life. Well, it's a blessing unless you birth the son of Satan. Problem Child is a childhood favorite of mine. Junior's hijinks in this movie made any 7-year-old laugh in 1993. So I'm officially gonna nominate Ben Healy Jr. for Father of the Year as we jump right on into Problem Child. The movie opens on a dark night with a voiceover from our main character Junior, as he's being dropped off at a random rich person's house. The lady seems to like him until baby Junior takes a quick whiz on her face. Cue Bad to the Bone, and we follow as Junior goes from home to home, as he wears out his welcome wherever he goes. Eventually, he winds up at a local orphanage. He truly is a problem for this church. Now, Ben Healy and his wife, Flo, are at the doctor's office hoping that the doctor will have good news for them. Unfortunately, Flo's tubes can't handle a baby. We go back to the orphanage and Junior is at lunch and decides it would be hilarious to flip his food onto the roof of the ceiling. Now, he lies to the nun and the lunchroom gets a good laugh. Junior is punished but finds out that one of the suck-ups at the orphanage is getting adopted. Good riddance, nerd! Junior turns the TV on and is introduced for the first time to the bow tie killer, Martin Beck. And of course, Junior takes a liking to this guy, even adopting the bow tie. Flo drops Ben off at Big Ben's Sports Town and lets Ben know that adoption is not an option. Ben has been working for his father for his entire life and expects that one day this will all be his. Today, unfortunately, is a bad day for little Ben, as Big Ben lets his son know he is selling to the Japanese. Talk about bad luck for little Ben. Junior is back in the kitchen working off his previous punishment. This kid just can't help himself as he takes the penguin to task and runs her through the ringer. This may have been what broke the camel's back. Little Ben is out with his Little League team. He has small talk with the rival coach and his neighbor, who shares the news that he's having another kid. This is not Little Ben's day, to say the least. The nuns are in agreement that Junior has to go now. Mr. Peabody thinks he's in a dilemma till they bring Junior in, and he actually agrees with the nuns. It's time for him to kick rocks. Well, it just so happens that little Ben convinces his obnoxious wife Flo that adoption will work for their family. After meeting with Mr. Peabody, the Healys are now the brand new parents of Junior Healy. It was established that Junior is now pen pals with the bow tie killer. He lets the bow tie killer know that he is sprung out of the big house. Within 45 minutes of being at this new home, we can already tell that Junior is going to have a hard time fitting in, as he already terrorized the family cat, torched his clown room almost to the ground, and put Big Ben in the hospital. Knowing that JR is now on the outside, the bow tie killer is able to break free after being invited to their first birthday party being new parents. Little Ben takes Junior on his first camping trip with the neighbors. This trip proves to be an experience for little Ben. As well, Junior is a problem child, and after the neighbor kids won't include him, he pees on the fire and lures a live bear to the campsite. Just good old fun. Turns out the neighbor had pre-planned to scare the kids with a bear costume. The wires got mixed up and Junior is laughing at the entire group from the safety of a tree. Next up is Lucy's birthday party. This little girl deserved all the grief she got. Again, being shunned for being a ginger, Junior terrorizes the party by throwing all the presents in the pool. He replaces all the candles with firecrackers. He clips the hair of one little girl. And finally, he puts a frog in the punch bowl. The gig is almost up here as Junior does end up in some trouble. The next day, Junior is now on Little Ben's Little League team. He tells his dad that, hey man, I'm not that good at baseball. He proves himself right when he lets go of the bat and it smashes into Big Ben's brand new car. So after being given the advice to not drop the bat, Junior gets a hit and doesn't let go as he takes out the entire team they were playing. Ultimately, he gets an in-the-park home run and screams touchdown. Ben and Flo finally have given up on Junior and decide that they need to get rid of the little twerp as soon as possible. During the meeting with Peabody, Ben realizes that this is just a kid after all, and kids just need to be loved. After a change of heart, he heads back to the car. Junior, thinking he is being sent back to the orphanage, locks the door as dumbass Ben left his keys in the car. This sends us on a wild ride as Junior, with Ben on the front windshield, goes for a joyride that ultimately leads to them crashing into Big Ben's sports town. After the accident, Little Ben finds out the next day that his dad has wiped out his life savings in order to pay for the damage. Little Ben is a broken man. After escaping the police earlier, the Bowtie Killer shows up at the Healy residence to find out that JR is not an adult, but in fact a 7-year-old kid. After being introduced as Junior's uncle, he stays over for dinner and ends up hooking up with that hoe Flo. Little Ben wakes up in the morning to find it written on the wall that if he wants Flo and Junior back, then he has to pay $100,000. Now, upon first impression, Little Ben does not give a shit and sees this as an answer from God Almighty. Fuck Flo and fuck Junior. Oh, wait, what? What's this? Out of all the photos, Ben is the only one Junior thought was nice. So that means the kid really did love Little Ben. With his renewed love for his son, he sets out and steals a car and then confronts his dad for the money. Big Ben ain't having it, but Little Ben takes it upon himself to ruin his dad's run for mayor and lights him up on live TV. The Bowtie Killer isn't having it with Junior and Flo, as she is eventually put inside a suitcase. They end up at the circus and Ben finds them and confronts the Bowtie Killer. Junior kicks him in the balls and is reunited with his dad. The Bowtie Killer gives chase, but ultimately is cut off after being humiliated on the trapeze. He gets away with Flo, still in the car. Ben and Junior go after him with a shotgun, and eventually Flo somehow lands on their car. She lets Ben know that she wants a divorce. The suitcase then flies off a bridge and then lands in the back of a pig truck. The Bowtie Killer crashes and the police arrest him. Before they can get him in the back of the car, he attains the gun and shoots Ben in dramatic fashion. Junior, thinking he's going to lose his dad forever, he proclaims how sorry he is. Well, luckily for Ben, he is saved by the same prune that he'd given Junior earlier in the movie. The film ends with Junior throwing his bow tie off the bridge as he walks away with his dad. Problem Child is a guilty pleasure of mine. I used to rent this movie occasionally as a kid from our local video spots. Once I started collecting VHS tapes in 2017, this and the sequel were on my short list of tapes to pick up. When you Google this movie, it's crazy to think that this movie only had a $10 million budget, but grossed $72.2 million at the box office. I mean, for me, Gilbert Gottfried steals the movie with his couple of scenes. That dude was always comedic gold. John Ritter is still missed to this day, as he plays such a lovable dude that just wanted to be a dad. Junior cracked me up the entire time as I rewatched this movie for this episode. Now, Problem Child might not be everyone's favorite movie, but when I was a kid, this movie was definitely a go-to on a Saturday night. So next time you're in the market to adopt a child, you probably shouldn't, because it may end up a problem child. Until next time, I'll see you at the video store.